more than a year and a half after the oldest Americans gained access to coronavirus vaccines, the FDA has authorized vaccines for children as young as 6 months. Here to talk to us about this is our favorite doctor, Dr. Kohli.
Yes, Dr.
She's been everywhere, by the way. She's like on her doctor tour right now. She's all over the nation, but she's here now. Okay, so Dr. Kohli, kids don't get that sick from COVID, right? We all know that. We talk about that. So should young kids, as young as 6 months, actually be getting the vaccine? What's your opinion? And then I'll tell you what kind of changed my mind.
You know, 100% yes. I have actually been waiting for this day because my niece is 6 months old, so she's just eligible. My nephew's 4.5, and I told their parents to take them on Monday. So I told them to take time off of work so that hopefully it comes through this weekend. And the reason, guys, is one, we have to do it for our kids. So even though they don't get that sick, we don't know what the long-term effects of this virus are on our kids. We know that kids get long COVID. We know that kids have died. Now, even if they get infected, the vaccine is likely to make their infection milder and, you know, more likely to help them recover quickly. And they make it less likely for us to catch it, too. So we're doing it for the kids. We're doing it for ourselves, making sure we don't have to get out of work. And we're doing it for our fight in the pandemic because if they get vaccinated, they can't spread as efficiently, and that helps, too.
And my number one thing was, okay, I'm going to get them vaccinated. You know, I lost my brother-in-law, Eric, and I don't want it to spread to other people. But then I thought, but then they don't get really that sick. But then what changed my mind is reading the article about we don't know, like, for instance, what was the disease that later turned into HPV? And if you had gotten vaccinated for it, then you would not have, you know, been at risk for it. So things like that. We don't know what COVID will amount to later on. So getting the vaccine protects our children from what could happen later on, in my opinion. Is that accurate?
100%. I mean, HPV causes cervical cancer, preventable. EBV, we've learned, which causes mono, causes multiple sclerosis, also preventable with vaccine. Chickenpox causes shingles, also preventable with vaccine. So we don't know if these viruses can live inside us forever.
Well, speaking of shingles, because I know that there is a connection to this story, but Justin Bieber recently announced that he has Ramsay-Hunt syndrome and it paralyzed half of his face. So what is the syndrome and how common is it?
It's so tragic for him to have it at such a young age. Usually we see it in older people, 60s, 70s, so it's pretty rare. Only about 5 cases out of every 100,000. But essentially what it is you get chickenpox as a child, and then it lives inside you forever, even after you get better from the acute illness. And then in infection, stress, anything that suppresses your immune system causes that virus to wake up, start replicating, cause inflammation in the facial nerve, which can then cause basically paralysis of that. And depending on how quickly it's treated, the paralysis could even potentially be permanent.
I was wondering, that's terrifying. I want to get this really quick. Father's Day is this weekend. Hi, Dad. He's not watching. How can we give the gift our dad? How can we give health to our dad? That's what I really want. I want him to stick around forever.
You know, I think the best gift we can give our dad on Father's Day, in addition to the money clip and the ties and the brunch, is the gift of health. And we have to know that heart disease is the #1 killer of men. And the American Heart Association says that 80% of heart attacks and strokes are preventable with the right strategy. So we got to remind Dad to do his heart disease screening. That's cholesterol, diabetes, get his blood pressure checked. But we also have to remember cancer screening in our dads. Prostate cancer, skin cancer, colon cancer. Just make sure to remind Dad to do all that while you're talking with him over brunch.
I love
Perfect.
it.
He'll be happy about
Cheers.
that.
Colon cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Thank you, Dr. Kohli, as always, for providing all this information. If you have a question you would like answered by Dr. Kohli, write us on social media or send us an email to info@dailyblesslive.com.